guys, welcome back to the Litdulterous Horror. I'm your host, Stacey Wright. Now it's July 1st and it's a really exciting time here in Canada as it's Canada Day. Sorry my kids are a little wild because we're going to be doing stuff later on. So if you hear any screams, just ignore it. They're screams of delight, not pain. So this is season 2, episode 7, Toxictok, and the toxic readers who frequent our bookish feeds. I swear, okay, Toxictok is like not even a strong enough word for just how bad it's gotten on social media lately. I think it's like every single person on there has forgotten why they started their bookish accounts in the first place, and that was to talk about books and authors and to show our love of reading. It wasn't to get your torch and pitchforks out, because you know what, I'm going to tell you right where you can shove them, alright? I just don't understand why we have gone from books to this. And I'm not the only person that's noticed. Like, a lot of people I know have gotten to the point now where they have taken rather large social media breaks because the toxicity of book reviewers and book influencers has gotten to the point where we're not enjoying our space anymore, and they've literally scared people off now, and it's kind of disgusting in my personal opinion. So I literally had like almost 3 weeks full of political posts on my Instagram account, okay? And this is quite annoying because I only follow book accounts on my Instagram. My Instagram is literally a bookstagram. There's nothing else on there. So to literally have my feed where I follow thousands of other readers and influencers with all these posts about Trump and like the LGBTQ stuff, trans stuff, you name it, like it's all like popping like fireworks. Canada Day, I thought it was funny. So yes, books are political because they cover social topics that we can discuss, but that's not what's happening. All I kept saying was no King Day and down with Trump and all this other crap. But before we dive into just how toxic our social medias have gotten, let's talk about what I've been reading this week. Now, I did my Read with Rory book. I literally finished it last night, and I'm going to be talking about it on Friday, so I had to finish up reading that. And it was An American Tragedy by Theodore Dreiser. Now, to know what I actually thought about that book, you're going to have to wait until Friday. So make sure you tune in on Friday for my Read Like Rory episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then I read Man Made of Smoke by Alex North. Oh my god, okay. Now, I love Alex North, I really do. I love the books. I love the tone of the books. I love the writing. I love how dark, and they really get to the inside of the human psyche, and it makes it feel like, could it be supernatural? Is it humans? Like, I love the way they write. I love it. So I really enjoyed the heck out of that book. I have a review coming up. Make sure you pay attention for that. Julie Tudor is not a psychopath by Jennifer Holdridge. Oh my god, this book, okay? This book frightened the life out of me because this woman, and she's coming across like she's a really unreliable narrator, obviously. Says so right in the title. But she comes across as like this, she's just doing her normal day-to-day stuff, and really, she really is not. And yeah, it was quite a terrifying book, I'm not gonna lie, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Much Ado About Hating You by Sarah H. Smith. I think I said that right. I'm really sorry if I didn't. I'm terrible with names. Like, seriously, I think authors should come up with really easy names just for my benefit. But it was like a parody on a Shakespeare play, and it was okay. It didn't like blow me out of the water or anything. But you know what? I think it was just because I read some really, really great books that this one just, you could tell it was not excellent. But you know what? I listened to the audiobook and it was still well worth it. It was worth it. Things Left Unsaid by Sarah Jafari. Now this one I just finished yesterday, and oh my goodness. Okay, I thought it was going to be boring. Okay. And I started it under the impression that I wasn't going to enjoy it, but oh man, I flew through it. Like, I read the whole thing in one sit, and it was phenomenal. It was really, really good. And it's like this Iranian lady, and she works for a UK publishing house, and she gets back in touch with a boy, and it was like their now and past. So it was like it batted back and forth about why they didn't talk in the 10 years where they had been apart, and it was really great. I loved the tone of the book. Like, the writing was excellent. It was a little slower than I usually like my books, but literary fiction tends to be that way, so if, you know, you kind of already expect that, but the writing was actually quite excellent, so I really enjoyed that. Okay, next it was Caught Up by Navessa Allen. Oh my god. I didn't think I could enjoy a sequel more than the first book. Now, the way she's writing this trilogy is you can read them as separate books. And I realized that after I was like most of the way through Caught Up, that the only time the characters from the first book are brought up is like they're the side characters, and knowing their backstory really is irrelevant. So you can read any of these books as standalones, which I thought was kind of nice. But the subject, oh my god, the trigger warnings. Okay, oh my god, okay, sorry. Like, I know I just literally, like, I had a skip fart there. That's what I call it when my brain kind of jumps. So the trigger warnings, like, it starts on the, because I listen to the audiobook. I really want to order these books, but I want hardcovers, and I can't find them, and it really irritated me, so I haven't bought copies yet. But I listened to the audiobook from the library, and the trigger warnings at the beginning were like, I almost go to the point where I'm like, I don't really have any triggers, but I'm like, should I be concerned about this book? Should I be like legit concerned? Because, oh my god, the triggers. But the guy's voice was like, I'm like, ooh. I think, I'm not even entirely sure I remember what he said. I was just like, ooh, Jariri. Anyway, it was, if you like dark romance, check the triggers on that one. But I actually I enjoyed the crap out of it. And then the last one was the Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. Now, I like her books. They're a little dry. But this one she wrote about like a curse from these, like, they call themselves sea witches, but they kind of have like this affinity for the ocean, and they do something in the past that's affecting like current day, and they're like trying to piece this together. Like the mother of this guy, like, she is her family lineage, but she didn't believe in it, but now she's seeing it, and it all comes together quite nicely. We see the past and the present, and it was done really, really well. Now, I'm kind of PO'd at myself because I didn't order it for my Book of the Month pick, and I think it's sold out now. I need to check because I picked something else, and now I'm wishing I hadn't. But I'm going to have a look, and if not, then I might wait and see if they do a special edition, because sometimes I think one of her books, like the London Seance or whatever it's called, she comes with sprayed edges, so maybe I will wait. I don't know. I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit. It didn't sound great. When I read the synopsis, it didn't sound great. But then my library had a copy of the audiobook I could have right away, so I grabbed it. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, the cover was so pretty. I don't know. I guess it happens to me sometimes, I guess. What can I say? And, publication date, it's Tuesday. So, let's see what we can find out in the wild today if we want to go book shopping. And I really, really shouldn't be going book shopping because I have more books on my TBR pile than I can probably read in 20 lifetimes, but that doesn't stop me, apparently. So we got Big in Sweden by Sally Fransson, and it's a coming-of-age young adult novel. Bound by Stars by E.L. Starling, and that one is a sci-fi. Brother Song by T.J. Klune, and that one is magical realism, LGBTQ romance. Now, this one, he did a re-release because these books were already out, and I don't know if he changed publishers or what, but they've been releasing the books in this series again. Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden, which is a psychological thriller, which is also a re-release, because I know I read it 4 years ago. It was released in 2021, so I don't know if it's because she has a publisher and she's re-releasing all the books that she released herself when she was an indie author. I don't know. Like, I didn't care enough to Google, but I don't know. And then we got Freak by Jennifer Hillier. Now, this one is a thriller, and I absolutely love her. She is a Canadian author, so whoop whoop to her today as it's Canada Day. Party of Lies by Kelsey Cox, and that one's another thriller. This is kind of a rather thriller heavy day today, but I like it a lot. Now, I'm fairly certain this one is the Aardvark box pick for July, and I'm this close to signing up, even though I said I wouldn't do it because I don't give discounts, but God, I'm a menace, okay? I really think somebody should buy my husband a boat or something because I am a bloody menace. Spirit Crossing by William Kent Kruger. Now, I love this man. I love him with my entire soul. This Tender Land happens to be one of my top 10 books of all time. And that one is a mystery book. That tends to be what he writes. He is an absolutely stunning author. So if you've never picked up one of his books, do it. The CIA Book Club by Charlie English. And this one is a historical non-fiction. And then we have The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid, and she is also a Canadian author, and that one is a historical romantasy, and I happen to be a big fan of her work. I love her books, and she always comes out with sprayed edges on her special editions, so I'll be looking out for that one. And then we have A Thrill of the Chase by Catherine Nolan, and that one is a romance novel. So just out of curiosity, as it's Canada Day, who are one of your favorite Canadian authors? Now, Margaret Atwood is obviously one of my big loves. Like, I have been a big fan of her work since I was very young teen. So obviously she's one of mine. And I actually have a real love for Kelly Armstrong. So if you haven't checked out any of her books, I think she has one coming out called Writing Mr. Wrong or something. It's coming out later in the year. I have a copy of it. I just haven't really looked at it yet. And, you know, I've been busy. Like, whatever. Pass your judgment elsewhere. But anyway, Toxictok. Where did the adults go? Do you all have PTSD from being online and you're now taking out your seething anger on people you don't have to look at online? Because that's really what it feels like. And this really started for me because I actually had all this episode planned out a couple of weeks back, but you know, life got in my way last week, so I waited until today to record it. But this whole thing with Ali Hazelwood, now you probably have heard about it by now because there was a big Reddit thread on it. There was TikToks out the wazoo about it. But what happened was she had made a comment about how she liked Gale from the Hunger Games more than Peter, and that Peter was kind of like a waste of space. Now I don't exactly know what she said because I really didn't read that too much into it because, hello, that's her opinion on a fictional character who doesn't exist. So I'm like, all right, but people went bonkers, and I don't just mean bonkers, okay, it was that bad. But she literally left her socials because she couldn't figure out how to turn off commenting. Like, apparently she's not very literate in, you know, online stuff like that. So she just deleted her accounts rather than dealing with the mass hysteria. I'm not even joking, but isn't that a little nuts? Somebody says something about a fictional character and these people went for the jugular. Like, I couldn't believe it. I've never in my life seen anything like it. But she's an author. I'm sure that there are people who don't look a character from her book. You don't see them attacking anyone about that. Like, you don't see her doing it. Like, it's really, really crazy. Now, I happen to be a big fan of Ali Hazelwood. Now, she writes the kind of books where she writes these really, like, I won't say really strong female MCs, but she writes these women who are very smart, very intelligent. They tend to work or are trying to get into STEM positions, so like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? So she writes books that really push women to the forefront of male-dominated roles. And sometimes, you know, they're, you know, a little shy or quiet, and they're not very, they're kind of timid and mousy. And you watch them kind of find their voices as the book goes on. So for me, she's really important. I love her work. But I don't know. I don't understand why these people went so bonkers. Like, the book community used to be a really safe space. Now, you can't have an opinion outside of these Lord of the Flies crazed readers who will literally start a hate campaign against you if you don't agree with them. Like, I'm not even joking, okay? I'm in chats with readers, and honestly, half of them, they're petty, petty human beings. They will start sending screenshots of other Instagram accounts or TikTok accounts where somebody has posted an opinion that they feel is not allowed, and will literally say, hey, you follow this person, you should unfollow them, you should report that post, you should do this, you should do that. And honestly, one of the women that's the payest of them all. Like, she does these like petty posts. She's really like, oh god, she drives me insane. And I'm in some of the chat groups with her, and I actively avoid not thinking about her. Like, she's disgusting, okay? She's an absolutely disgusting human being, but whatever, she's entitled to her opinion. I just do not agree with taking all these other people that are just trying to be readers in reader groups, shaking up this hornet's jar and making them feel bad because they don't feel the same way that she does. Or maybe they do, but they're not going to hurt somebody online for vengeance. Honestly, I'm really worried that if I leave some of these groups, they're going to start looking at me like I'm going to be put under their little pinpoint microscope. And now I don't post anything that anyone can remotely say anything like, hello, I am a mother with a gay son. I am a mother with a bisexual daughter. I am an LGBTQ mama, okay? But if someone's not comfortable with that, that's okay. They're not hurting my son by having a feeling or an opinion. They're not hurting my daughter by having the same opinions. Really hate the hypocrisy. Getting back to Ali. Now, how do we conduct ourselves as grown-ups on social media, especially around authors? Well, firstly, don't go invading the author's space. They don't have to think like you. And believe it or not, if they did think like you, they wouldn't be money-bagsing authors over here. So maybe you need to check yourself over there. Be respectful of the things that you don't like. At the end of the day, that was just fiction. It wasn't deep. It wasn't earth-shattering. She made a flippant comment with a giggle, from my understanding, that she preferred another character in there. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of Piers either. You can come witch hunt me now. Whatever, I don't care. Do it. This was something else I noticed. Someone was talking about The Cruel Prince, and she was shaming, and I mean shaming, other readers who liked the book. I did. I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. She likened it as women who want to believe their high school bullies were secretly in love with them. She called people names, and she really shamed them. Like, it was just, I think she's taken it down now, but it really upset a lot of people. You can think that way, but do you really need to say it? Do you really need to make a Reddit post about it? Do you really need to be that gross? Like, who hurt you? Like, show me on the doll who hurt you and why, you know? Like, I don't get it. Can't we just be respectful? Can we not take things that are fiction not so seriously? Like, discuss respectfully. It's not hard. We're adults. We've been taught to be respectful and to talk like adults and hear both sides of an argument. You don't harass people for having a differences of opinion, okay? Now I'm going to stop my Ali Hazelwood or anti-Rurus and talk about the girl that admitted to faking her reviews on NetGalley. Now, this one kind of irked me a little bit because, yes, I'm on NetGalley. I hate it when I get denied for books. And this woman was basically collecting these books, not to review them, just throwing up any generic review, just so that she could keep getting more books that other people would have loved to read and enjoy. Whatever. That's NetGalley's problem. That's not your problem, because just, let's say she didn't request the book, doesn't mean you're going to get it. I don't know. I kind of understood that it wasn't personal against me. Maybe she got behind. But what she wrote was that she was in the middle of BSing some reviews so she could get her ratio on NetGalley back up to 80%. Now, it's insane to openly brag about that on platforms where people are so uptight, for a start. Now, I work my ass off to read my ARCs, okay? Sometimes I have to post my reviews a little after publication date. It doesn't happen very often, but it really upsets me when it happens, because I try and read and evaluate the books based on their merits and how I felt about it. So people doing this stuff, I can understand why people were upset and annoyed. But she was just 20, and her whole persona online now, because she had a very big following, now believes that this about her. Like, this is, in the scheme of mistakes, is not even criminal, but she has been treated like a criminal, and people are blackballing her, removing their follows, sending emails directly to publishers, telling them that she does this. Okay, whatever. Whatever makes you feel better about it, go ahead. If this is what you feel needs to happen, go ahead. But do you really need to tell other people to do it too? Like, I don't know. You people really make me angry. Like, seriously. She posts books now with a review on it, and people are like, well, did you really read this? Is this a real review? I get it, okay? But seriously, you're bullying her now. Can you not just... You're bullying. It's bullying. Move on, okay? You got your retribution, move on. This is just the tip of the toxic iceberg on my socials. And today was all about keeping the toxic people in books where I enjoy them the most. And I'm going to show you my top toxic People in Books, Book Recs. White Leader by Janet Fitch. Who was a toxic character in this one? Ingrid Magnusson. Oh my God. She's Ashridge's mother. She manipulates, she's self-centered, and she's very controlling. And I gave that book 4 stars. Next was Tampa by Alyssa Nutting. Who's toxic in this book? Celeste Price. Now she is a sexual predator who wants to sexually use prepubescent boys at the school she teaches at. It's got a huge creep factor because usually it's a male teacher doing that, and that's hard enough. But a woman, like, yeah, oh, it gave me icks. But it was, again, 4-star book. It was really good. A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. Now, who's toxic in this one? Now, honestly, the whole book's full of them, but the top one is Ignatius J. Riley. He self-centers, has grandiose delusions, and exhibits really offensive behavior. Now, that one I gave 4.5 stars to. It was really good, and I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but it was a really, really solid read. Next is Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. I love that author, love it. Who's toxic in this one? So, Judge Holden. It's toxic masculinity. He thrives in violence and dominance and destruction of other people. Honestly, that sounds like a lot of the bookstagrammers and book talkers on social media right now, don't you think? Loved it. 5 stars. Love it. Next is The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. Now, who was toxic in this one? It was Robert Mallory. He manipulates and deceives, and he's quite disgusting, okay? Now, I like this book because it shows the toxic dynamics between friends in friend groups, just like cliques on social medias. Can you see my theme here? Can you? I gave that one 4 stars. It's like Mean Girls in real time, man. Mean Girls. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Now, who's toxic in this one? Honestly, they're both pretty much equal in my book, but Kathy and Heathcliff are both toxic as fuck. He's abusive, vengeful, and she is a master emotional manipulator. Now, it's, again, one of my favorite books, 4.5 stars. Bonfire of the Vanities by Tom Wolfe. Now, who's toxic in this one? Sherman McCoy. Now, what happens is we see the downfall after a hit and run, and the toxicity that comes from the groups pushing for his downfall to further their own gains. And this one I also gave 4 stars. The whole book was like toxic, 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 okay? And that's where our toxicity should be kept, in our fiction. Next, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. Like, I completely forgot just how toxic this book really was, but oh man, it's fabulous. So Theo and Boris are both really toxic, but Boris is definitely worst of the pair. He's a manipulator and a really horrible friend, because what he does is he leads Theo into addiction and crime. Again, 4.5 stars. Excellent book. Excellent book. Sophie's Choice. Who's toxic? Nathan Landau. Abusive, paranoid, and manipulative, especially on Sophie. And she's kind of toxic too, because she's really self-destructive, you know what I mean? 4 stars. Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. Now, who's toxic in this one? Frank and April are both pretty toxic. Like, Frank is self-absorbed and seeks validation through affairs, but April is really resentful and manipulative. I gave that one 4 stars as well. Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. Now, who's toxic in this one? It was Richard Rivers. He is a real effing piece of work, okay? Really manipulative. I got the disgust factor right from the beginning with him. So 4 stars. Anyway, the moral of today's story: keep the toxicity in books. And if you don't like something, scroll past it. Block that person even. You think the people I listed above are bad? Like the toxic people from the fiction books? You're acting just like them. Don't mimic their behavior. I'm sure they felt their causes were worthy as well, that what they were doing was for the greater good, right? Greater good. It's all gross. Toxic behavior needs to be removed from our book community. So let's bring back the positivity and the sisterhood and the love of books. And let's keep all the toxicity out of our socials. Please, I'm begging you, for the love of God. I know that this episode was a little harsh, but this is how I feel about it. And I'm sure that there's more of you out there that have felt victimized by the Mean Girls Bookstagram or the Mean Girls Book Talk because you don't share their viewpoints, or maybe you don't complain the way they do, and they actively will seek you out like a heat-seeking missile to destroy you. And honestly, I'm done with it. So if you're like me and you would like all your book socials to go back to what it was about books, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode, give me a follow on youtube.com/@Litdulterous. You can follow me on Spotify, Apple Music. Follow me on my socials. I'm on Bookstagram. I'm on TikTok. Now it's @Litdulterous Whore on Instagram, @Litdulterous on TikTok. You can follow me on my book reviewing one as well, which is @Bookalorian Designs. TikTok is Bookalorian_designs. I'm on Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. I even have like a Lioness of Literacy account as well, because that's how I started my blog originally, and then I kind of merged them, and then I kind of brought it back again, like, I'm a nightmare. But I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I feel more like cathartic now that it's all out. I feel cleansed. But I really hope you have the reading week you deserve, guys. And I will see you on Friday for Read Like a Rory. Take care, everyone. Bye.